It is Saturday, the 1st of June, 2024, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us here on the Jamaican Diaspora live online on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. We could call it Windrush Month, actually, because Windrush Day falls on the 22nd of June. And that's going to be one of those observances to be followed and showcased for a particular period in the month of June. Windrush Day is a commemoration in the United Kingdom, which is held on the 22nd of June to honor the contributions of migrants to the post-war economy in the UK. Specifically, it celebrates Afro-Caribbeans who began arriving on the HMT Empire Windrush in 1948, later known as the Windrush generation. These economic migrants were an important part of the UK's recovery from the previous privations of World War II. Windrush Day is not a bank holiday, but has grown in popularity since a campaign by Patrick Vernon led to its introduction in 2018. On the 22nd of June, 1948, 492 Caribbean people were brought to Tilbury Docks, Essex, in the UK, on the Empire Windrush ship. News reports at the time reported that the number of people was 492, but the ship's records show that the ship was carrying 1,027 passengers. According to the passenger lists, 802 of those on board the ship gave their last country of residence as somewhere in the Caribbean. After World War II, the United Kingdom's economy needed to be repaired. To do so, the British government recruited Afro-Caribbean migrants and offered them jobs. These jobs included the production of steel, coal, iron, and food, and also jobs in the service sector, such as running public transport and staffing the new National Health Service in the United Kingdom. So please, if you continue to listen to the Jamaican Diaspora live online, and indeed both sides of the story when that time comes around, you will be given information at different points on these two programs, so people can have an appreciation for Windrush, the Windrush generation and Windrush Day, and all the attendant issues with respect to the HMT Empire Windrush. So that's the significance of the 22nd of June, and it will be played out over time. Right now, we have a gentleman who has been ready from before we could say ready, Mr. Rudy Page, CEO of Making Connections Work, is starting us off on today's edition of the Jamaican Diaspora live online on Power 106 FM, because he's going to be sharing with us some of the Windrush Day activities and related matters. The second annual Windrush Day celebration also being marked. So let's say hello and welcome to the CEO of Making Connections Work, Mr. Rudy Page. In just a moment, as we get ready to hear what's in store for this significant month of June when we celebrate Windrush Day on the 22nd of June. So please, once again, make a note of that, and you'd have, so that you don't miss the celebration. And so let's go to Mr. Rudy Page. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, good morning. All is well and the sun is shining in London.
What's the temperature like?
Yes, okay. Next question.
It's always good to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Jamaican Diaspora live online on Power 106 FM. So, in terms of the significance of this month and ultimately the 22nd of June, what's in store for those of us who... Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, so I guess if we start from what happened in Jamaica, because what we do now in this second year since the 75th anniversary, we actually start the Windrush celebrations, start from Labour Day in Jamaica. So what we do now, we always link Jamaica and the UK together, including the USA and Canada in Jamaica. So from Labour Day onwards, we have groups from the US, Canada, and the UK down in our neighbourhoods in August Town, 5 communities, and also across St. Thomas. In St. Thomas, there's a cultural heritage steering group which takes in the communities of Albion, Bowden, Islington, Landui, which is the spiritual centre of that area, Randall, Stony Gut, Finger Jack, and Yalis. And I think the significance of what happened with this activity was that both groups had their own activities going on in their local communities, but they also came together as well, jointly to speak to young people in 3 local schools in Kingston, so August Town Primary School, Hampton High School, and Jamaica College. And if you remember, last year we celebrated what we call Windrush Descendants Day, which is the 24th of May, the Windrush Descendants Day in Jamaica. So what we did this year, which we now call the second annual Windrush Anchor Heritage Education Program, Descendants Day, we had an address by Patrick Sterling from London Elite Sports and Football Academy, two young people in the school, and his theme was around attitude, aspiration, and attainment. Attitude, aspiration, and attainment. And then later on in the day, hosted by August Town Football Club at UE Bowl, his organisation conducted a football coaching session supported by the Academy of Sporting Excellence and some local other coaches as well, Cova Jamaican Sports Academy, and representatives from Landui FC. So there was 40 young people, and they selected 2 players for their outstanding attitude and performance for advanced coaching development. And half of the people who were in the group, this was their first visit to Jamaica, and they had a great time. And people from all backgrounds. So that was a significant achievement. Under the Regulatory Foundation, led by Dean Roden, who was on the show last week, this group did some great work again on Labour Day with the Healing Stream down in Bedwood Gardens. So they had agreed across all 5 communities there'd be one major project in terms of enhancement. And so we're really pleased to see that. And of course, that's an historic area. And in going back to going back to St. Thomas now, we spoke about the community centre in Landui. So that was the great, over 100 people came out to help with the clearing and bringing back the football pitch and the cricket pitch of that area, as well as put in place plans for the development of the community centre so it can serve all the communities in the area once again, as it did 83 years ago. So it's been a great collective effort by families, regardless of their location, because we've had families from the UK, USA, and Canada involved, linking back with their families on the Windrush anchor we've used for the last 2 years. What he's done is put together an exhibition called Beyond Windrush, from Wind to Westminster. And the exhibition shares about the continued plans to recover the unique Windrush anchor as a heritage touchstone for the nation, which carries a global message of hope and resilience. And it's and he's put together 10 panels over the last 10 years since he began his campaign of Windrush. So we joined it in 2022 and then created the Windrush Anchor program based on the original replica anchor. So the anchor will be there at the Coffee and Beyond, 83 to 85 Greenwich High Road, and that's in South East London. So there'll be dialogue, and there's 10 panels depicting the whole journey and all the different partners, all the people from different backgrounds who've been involved in the Windrush story. There's also another great event going on that same day by Reach Society. Reach Society, chaired by Dr. Dwayne Neal, OBE, and they're having a special Windrush Nation event where they're actually awarding significant members of the Windrush generation for those who really contributed and served communities. So that's going to be a major event as well. So there's going to be lots of activities, not as many as last year, but the message continues, the work continues, the the support for young people, for them to understand their heritage, that continues. So yeah, it's still going to be an exciting time. Hopefully the sun will come out as well.
Sounds like you have it together in terms of the plans. And are there elements in which you actually partner with other organizations? I think you did touch on, you said USA, UK, Canada. So in different ways, there are connections. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're doing is there's going to be some online dialogue, and we'll focus around. So you've got families who left Jamaica, came to the UK. Then some people left the UK, went to the US, and some of the families went to Canada. So again, this year, really for the first time, we're going to online a bit later on this month. We'll be having representatives of the different families and their experiences. But at the heart of it, the connection is Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So we still see that being very important, that collaboration and the bringing together of families and working as a community on the ground in the countries where they're based, of course, as well as in Jamaica, which has really been demonstrated these last few days, particularly with Let's Talk Under the Reggae Tree Foundation. And in fact, even though they're USNU and Jamaica based in terms of their program of activities, they also had UK people in their group because of the connections that those individuals have, with families in the US. Mm-hmm. So again, that was really good to see that connection again. So that message of families getting involved, going back into the communities from where, as somebody said, my friend Clive always talks about his neighbour's string is buried in St. Thomas. So that's why, again, he's involved and making sure that we can make a contribution to the development of young people in the area.
What's the extent to which the healing is taking place or has been taking place in terms of all that the Windrush generation has gone through and endured, and coming to grips with the impact on yes.
Yeah, that's a good question, Dervan, and we're kind of focusing it on this way. So what we say is, in these situations, we are where we are, and if we had a choice, we wouldn't have started from here. So the mental health impact is significant. So again, we'll be thinking much more to do more around the mental health impact, but also to better understand how we can reach a consensus about the best way forward. How can we reach agreement amongst ourselves and say, right, this is the best way forward as a result of the experience, this generational experience, and the impact of the Windrush situation. And we're still working that out. But the good thing is, just like in any difficult situation, you will always find people who have a high morale and motivation to come to a solution so that we can work our way through. So I think that's what's happening now. And I think that's why we're focusing on families getting together, families thinking about, okay, what was done in the past when there were difficulties, because it's not the first generational challenge that we've had to face. So then we have to look back and think back, okay, so what did previous generations do in these very difficult situations? What solutions did they come up with to improve the well-being? And of course, we've got to think more clearly and carefully how we bring young people and bring young people's voice into that dialogue as well. So that's a really important part of the healing, I think, as well. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're pleased to launch an initiative put together by Clive Morrison for St. Thomas, which we're linking to Let's Talk Under the Regulatory. We've called it 4R's Youth Forum. So again, it's about the Windrush experience. And it's about reasoning, responsibility, respect, and rights. They're the 4 pillars. And in a sense, it links back to, I mentioned about Clatchford Sterling's presentation to the 3 schools in Augusttown. So Clatchford left Jamaica as a young person, with his family, grew up in the UK, endured all the challenges, especially at that time of growing up in the UK. And so again, he was able to share with the young people in those schools some of the big challenges that he faced and the community faced, but ultimately there is a way forward. So I think we will have more of those dialogues. We've got a lot of returnee groups in Jamaica from the UK, USA, and Canada. And again, we're saying to them, part of the healing, because even though they may have returned to Jamaica and they live there now, they still feel the generational impact of Windrush. And we're saying to them, well, one of the ways is get involved in the local community, get involved in the neighbourhoods. There's more groups now starting to form where people can collaborate and make a contribution for the next generation.
Is there an exhibition component? Some of the artifacts, some of the tools, some of the...
Yeah, that's in the planning, because what we want to do is actually, and this is one of the ideas for the museum in St. Thomas, is to actually have what we call a Windrush front room. Because the irony is that many people who return back to Jamaica took a lot of those items from the UK back to Jamaica. So we're saying now, all around the island, we should start to look for those items and actually create a museum, because there's a story with all those, the chairs, the mirrors, the grams. So we're moving towards that.
Mm-hmm.
And we already have those sort of exhibitions around the UK now as well. There's one permanent one in Harlesden, a project called the Wise Project in Harlesden in Brent, and that's a permanent exhibition of the Windrush Generations front room.
Mm-hmm. And are you working alongside those involved in the commemoration of the Windrush activities?
Yes, there is a level of collaboration, even though it might be more around information sharing.
Okay.
But the good thing is the recognition that people have been campaigning for in Jamaica for Windrush recognition. We're pleased that there appears to be some traction now, especially since last year's celebration, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's a beacon of hope, in other words.
Yes. And remind us, it was okay, hold a moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
6:30 in the morning here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 4:30 a.m. in Hamilton, Bermuda.
Wine on your tongue. You know wine on your tongue. Drive smart, no rambo. Wine on your tongue. If I 87 you pay use, put in 87 in your tongue. So you know which fuel you use. Vehicle manual find it. FKR in a Jamaica, then you use 87. And a petrol refine so use the RPM for the car where you're driving. I'm going to tell you some more. If I 87 your vehicle use, you are rev up the savings for sure. Know you tank fuel right. Your pocket have a smile. Rev up the savings. Savings on every mile. Brought to you by Petrojam, serving Jamaica's energy needs. The Westmoreland Agricultural Show 2024 is all set to shine the spotlight on the next generation of agricultural leaders. On Sunday, the theme, New Face of Food, driving food security and expanding imports. Join Power 106 FM for live broadcast from the Westmoreland Agricultural Show from 1 to 3 p.m. Entertainment all day, prizes, surprises, and more. This broadcast is brought to you by the Westmoreland Association of Brand Societies of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, Easy Spice Seasonings and Spices, and James Lumberyard. That's a live broadcast from the Westmoreland Agricultural Show this Sunday, June 2, at the Bay Road Sports Complex in Little London, Westmoreland, from 1 to 3 p.m., right here on Power 106 FM.
This message is brought to you by the Jamaica Environment Trust.
We have a right to a healthy environment. I did not so don't break our limit. Anybody who pollute cause they got them. Don't just watch it, you have to report them.
We need clean air to breathe, good healthy food to eat, grown clean and naturally. We have to take responsibility.
Excessive deforestation, burning garbage, dust and noise creation is an unlawful violation. We have to practice conservation. We have a right to a healthy environment. And the law so don't break our limit. If you have an issue, make a complaint. Let's work together to protect Jamaica. We have a right to a healthy environment. And the law so don't break our limit. We have to do our part to keep the place clean and take care of the island safe.
We all have a right to a healthy and clean environment. Report any issues to the authorities if you feel you're reached. Call the Jamaica Environment Trust for more information.
Moments of wrapping our discussions with Rudy Page, the Chief Executive Officer of an organization known as Making Connections Work. So we've been fully briefed as far as Windrush activities are concerned this Windrush month, and with Windrush Day on the 22nd and Windrush Descendants Day on the 24th. So more to come, but I'll give you the opportunity to round out what you were saying when we had to take the break a short while ago, Rudy Page.
Really, the last point then would be around, this is now connected, you've got the Diaspora Day of Service, which is linked to the Diaspora Conference, of course, that taking place in Windrush month. So we're connecting activities on the ground in St. Thomas. There's going to be the restoration of the cricket pitch and the fencing around the football pitch, so that on the 1st of August celebration, we can have a football match between Mandui FC and Augusttown Football Club, and this is young people. And there'll also be a big coaching session. So again, we're connecting the activities and support from the UK, USA and Canada, and linking the whole, so widening the scope of the Windrush celebrations. So it starts to connect all the families together.
Mm-hmm.
So we're using this opportunity to kind of launch that way of working on the 20th of June.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for preparing us for what is to come as far as the Windrush celebrations are concerned. We look forward to following up with you as the need arises.
Right.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. This is your program, the Jamaican Diaspora, live online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Good morning to those who have joined us. Beverline in Toronto, Canada says, good morning, happy Saturday. Bratislava Borivojova says, good morning, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Good morning, Bratislava Borivojova. Thank you for tuning in. Good to have you on board. Sophia Nemard in Newell, St. Elizabeth. I don't think you turned out yesterday, Sophia Nemard. Maybe you had other matters taken care of, but we were in your neck of the woods in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth, the hottest place in Jamaica. Gray Shim says, happy Sabbath, Mr. Malcolm. My last day on my island home as I prepare to drive to the airport to catch my flight back to Farin. The time spent with family and gallivanting all over the island has gone by too quickly. Now to return to the rat race with fresh memories of home and new promises to come back sooner to strengthen the family bonds that were renewed with this visit. Me still a stream you when me de back in the sun coast of Sarasota, Florida. Keep up the good work as I continue to enjoy the hardest working man in radio. Walk good. You're very kind, Gresham. Thank you very much for your message. All the very best. And Gordon A. Charlene is online as well, saying good morning to everyone. Good morning, Gordon R. Charlene. And please we appreciate your messages and your comments. Keep them coming. 876-365-3346. That's the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. And the regular call-in lines, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Thank you very much for your messages and your comments as you continue to share with us on the Jamaican Diaspora live online right here on Power 106 FM. In a moment, we will feature a group of students, a cohort of students, past students from St. Catherine High School, the class of 1989. They are in the process of planning their 35th reunion gala, and we are anxious to hear what they have in store and how they are looking to, some people say reach back, others say reach forward, but how they have been able to and are planning to support or continue to support their alma mater. So we're going to be learning more about that in a little while here on the Jamaican Diaspora live online on Power 106 FM. And we should say hello as well to Sharon Smith of the Jose Marti Alumni Association New York chapter. And Sharon Smith says, well, she has sent us a message, Blue Power Family, as they refer to themselves. Okay. All right. So we're going to roll on and continue. Let's say hello, good morning, and welcome to Anthony Johnson, otherwise known as Tula. Hope we got that right. Good morning. How are you?
Top of the morning. I am well. I tell you what, I just came back from the beach this morning. I decided to go out, take an early morning swim. One of the great luxuries of being on a beautiful island.
Oh, Well, you really should stop that, because some of us haven't been able to go to the beach in a long time. So take.
I just wanted to spread that.
On a serious note, give us an idea of what St. Catherine High School mean to you. You are a member of the class of '89 with your 35th reunion gala coming up. But let's start at the beginning. Did you choose St. Catherine High School, or did St. Catherine High School choose you?
Well, fortunately for me, I happen to live on St. John's Road, and St. Catherine High School has always been a place that I wanted to see what the inside looked like. But because I lived a little further down the street, I couldn't just walk over on campus. So St. Catherine High School was the high school that I actually chose. I had two other choices, but St. Catherine was my first choice.
Okay. And yes, go ahead.
Sorry, yes, and for me, I bleed blue. What can I say? It is when I got to St. Catherine High School, I got introduced to a game called rugby. Never heard of it before. And at that time, St. Catherine High School was a powerhouse in that field, and they just absolutely dominated. And I love that about them. So it's from a very tender age. It was everything that I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm. Everything that you wanted it to be. That's loaded.
Everything that I wanted it to be.
Is there an individual who comes to mind who played a significant part in your personal development at St. Catherine High School?
Oh, yes, indeed. I would not be the man that I am today were it not for Mr. Clarence Brown. He was my high school rugby coach and, dare I say, life mentor. He's a phenomenal person. Mm-hmm. And he instilled in me things that, I still use to this day as a grown man.
Yes.
And fortunately for him, he's still alive, so he gets to hear these things that, we show him appreciation yearly. We have a rugby tournament that we keep every year. Mm-hmm. Benefits and proceeds go back to the St. Catherine High School.
Mm-hmm. So for how long now has the class of '89 been actively giving back to St. Catherine High School?
So individually, we've always given back, but collectively started back in, I would say, 2017 was when we formed. We got together and created a WhatsApp group and decided that we're going to have a 30th reunion, and from there, the thing just took off like wildfire. So, as a group, I'd say I've been going on about 8 years.
Mm-hmm. And what has that been like? What does that feel like to be able to attend the institution, do well, join the race of well, hold on, let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
15 minutes to 7 o'clock in the morning here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 1:45 in the afternoon in London, England.
The Westmoreland Agricultural Show 2024 is all set to shine the spotlight on the next generation of agricultural leaders on Sunday, June 2 at the Bay Road Sports Complex in Little London, Westmoreland. This year's event emphasizes youth engagement under the theme, New Face of Food, driving food security and expanding exports. Join Power 106 FM for live broadcast from the Westmoreland Agricultural Show from 1 to 3 p.m. Entertainment all day, prizes, surprises, and much more. This broadcast is brought to you by the Westmoreland Association of Branch Societies of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, Easy Spice Seasonings and Spices, and James Lumberyard. That's a live broadcast from the Westmoreland Agricultural Show this Sunday, June 2, at the Bay Road Sports Complex in Little London, Westmoreland, from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
In tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go, you need to know. Shine.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora live online on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We're featuring the St. Catherine High School class of 89 as they continue to give back to their alma mater. They're marking their 35th reunion with a gala scheduled for the 13th of July at 6:30 in the evening at the Altamont Court Hotel in New Kingston, St. Andrew, Jamaica. And so we're always happy to welcome the representatives of the various alumni associations as they continue to give back to their alma mater. And so online, we have one of two guests. Sorry, we haven't been able to connect just yet with Dr. Lilith Tomlinson, but we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, Anthony Tulla Johnson has been quite able in filling us in with respect to St. Catherine High School class of 89. So I think I was going on to ask if there was any individual at the school who stood out, who impacted you. Yes.
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, Mr. Clarence Brown definitely is one who stood out, as well as Mr. Neal. Mr. Neal was the assistant vice principal at one point, but significantly for me, he was the choir director. And I remember as a young man, I got into some problems at school, and the powers that be thought to get rid of me. And Mr. Neal stepped in and he said, and he had a very deep, commanding voice. He said, "These boys are not bad boys. They just need guidance." The guidance for him meant that I had to go to choir practice. And let me tell you, it transformed my life. So St. Catherine High School has been transformative for me in many different ways. And we give back as much as we can, as often as we can. And whenever we're called upon, we are there. We sponsored a study camp for the class of 2024. And these kids, to hear how they express their gratitude and how thankful they are for what we've done for them, because a lot of them were struggling in different subject areas, and what we did really boosted their confidence in preparation for the upcoming CXC examination.
Okay, very good. And so,
as well as other initiatives that we have going on and ongoing projects that we're working on at the school as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you normally do any carry out any activities at the start of the new academic year?
Yeah, so what we did last year was, we were coming out of COVID, so there were a couple of years that we couldn't reach out to the kids like we wanted to. But even during those times, we were providing tablets, we were providing data for the kids to have access to information and just continue on with their education. So we have back to school drives, of course, that we sponsor. What we did was we took the class of 2024 under our wing when we did our 30th celebration. So we would have followed these young men and women throughout. But like I said, the COVID years knocked out a couple of years, but we were able to get back on track and provide food supplies and whatever, whatever they needed.
Mm-hmm. And for you, You spoke about a turnaround, your rugby coach, right?
Right, Mr. Clarence Brown.
Uh-huh. What about your choice of a vocation? What you do?
So,
Yes, go ahead.
so I actually, because of rugby, I was able to go overseas, and I played for Hunter College in the city of New York. From there, I enlisted in the United States Army, and I served for 24 years when I retired in 2017. And I came back and was able to coach rugby at St. Catherine High School. And like I said to you before, Mr. Brown has been instrumental. One of the things he's always said is that determination makes winners.
Mm-hmm.
So that has always been my drive. If you're determined, you will succeed. And it has served me throughout my military career, throughout life. That's my mantra. If you're determined, you will succeed.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so the work continues. You seem to have started something, and it is growing, it is building, and looks like you're not going to be moving away from that initiative anytime soon. You would be
absolutely right. Absolutely right. I don't see myself doing anything else. You know what I mean? So since retirement, I've just been engaged in the school, and doing rugby is my passion to it. I'm always aimed at, because a couple of guys that I coach, I was able to help to get overseas, and they're in college now and doing well. So I see many opportunities for young men and women in Jamaica through rugby. But for the class of '89, we are dedicated to the the betterment of the school and for the kids that go to kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very, very good. Do you have a page or a couple of pages online in social media to keep the communication channels open?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, we have class of '89. We have an Instagram page. We have a Facebook page, and all the
social media pages.
Social media pages, correct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. And how vibrant would you say your group has been?
Well, so I mean, we dubbed ourselves the Forever Young Karina. So, we have the figure and we have the seal. So, like I said, Mr. Marlon Campbell, who's the principal of St. Catherine High School, knows that he can call upon the 89ers, and we're going to come out in numbers and in support of whatever initiative he's got going on. So I would say that we're very vibrant. The Northeast chapter of the alumni, they hold a banquet every year. And, class of '89, we always go and support. And when we go, we bring the energy, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The Southeast chapter has a annual picnic as well. And everywhere we go, we're known because we have that sense and that zeal and the vigor, like I said. So we really show up, and we participate and contribute.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because we know it all goes back to the school. So we're always eager, dare I say, to support them.
Yes. Well, I hope we're not keeping you too long away from the beach.
No. Well, life goes on.
Well, and sorry, please give our regards to Dr. Tomlinson. We haven't.
Right.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I most definitely will. Yeah. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here, but who knows what she's got going on. Dr. Tomlinson is a very, very busy person. Yes. You know what I mean? So it's most unfortunate that she couldn't come on bless us this morning.
Yes.
Because I always like to hear her talk.
Well, we'll do our best to keep her space open at all times. So whenever she's ready, again.
Well, thank you. Well, big up to the Power 106 crew.
Thank you.
And the listeners all across the globe. Yeah. God blessings, and take care of yourselves.
You too. Thank you very much. Well done to you and your team. All the best.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. That's Mr. Anthony Tulla Johnson.
Tulla.
Yes.
Correct. Thank you.
All right.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye. You too. Bye-bye. Representing the St. Catherine High School class of '89. It's their 35th, coming up is their 35th reunion gala, and they asked to share their story here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. And so we're always happy to oblige when the opportunity presents itself. And if you're just tuning in, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. We see Althea Bernard, Norman Hines in St. Thomas, Angela in Toronto, Canada, or is she? She says, "Good morning all, Dervan, do. Nabada expose me." Uh-oh. All right, well, we'll leave you tucked away somewhere on the beach. All right, thank you very much for your message, Angela. Good to hear from you. And Gordon A. Charlene, morning to you as well. Thank you for making it the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online here on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And we should say good morning to Peter Gracie. Peter Gracie, good morning to you. Thank you very much for touching base. Peter Gracie has been busy traveling in and out of Jamaica and elsewhere in the diaspora with his organization being led by Adriana Clark. This is Jamaica is the name of the organization. And hello to Dr. Karen Dunkley. We're happy to oblige. Thank you very much for connecting us with Anthony Tulla Johnson of the class of 89 of St. Catherine High School. It's a good connection to have. He's very fluid and amiable gentleman. Good to have met him. Thank you very much for sharing with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your respective devices as we continue with more on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM, first edition for the month of June. And we thank you very much for heralding the month of June and all that comes with it. Okay, no problem. Let's take the break and come back in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
7 o'clock in the morning here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 4 a.m. in Anchorage, Alaska.
Jamaica invites its global family to a momentous homecoming June 16 to 19 for the 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference in beautiful Montego Bay. Join us for a cultural immersion, network, and do business as you explore innovative solutions for nation building. Plan to attend. Your insight, voice, and presence matter. Register at diasporaconferenceja.eventbrite.com. The 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference, united for Jamaica's transformation, fostering peace, productivity, and youth empowerment. Convened by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade.
Wherever you go, in tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go, shine.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program the Jamaican Diaspora live online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we're happy to tell you that Dr. Lilith Tomlinson has joined us here on the Jamaican Diaspora live online. Dr. Tomlinson, good day to you. How are you?
Good morning, Dervan. How are you doing?
I am fine, thanks. Good to talk with you. Thank you very much for joining us. And want to talk about the class of 89 of the St. Catherine High School. And we want to hear your story. What does St. Catherine High School mean to you?
Well, Dervan, I'm so happy, first of all, to be abroad, to be on the program. And more importantly, being an 89er at the great and distinguished, largest single shift school in the Caribbean, the St. Catherine High School. So the class of 89 consists of a team of committed students who, having had such an amazing experience at the school, want to be able to impact another generation. And so prior to the COVID period, we were always doing contributions to the school. But in the year that we had COVID, we decided that we would actually adopt a class. And we have been working with those students, by extension, contributing to the school from that period in a very tangible way. Because we know that that was a time of upheaval. It was really a time when a lot of students were distracted as well. And so we felt that it was important for them to understand that in times of crisis, you're never alone. And so that as fellow alumni and so attached to the school, we wanted to be able to give back to our noble institution.
Mm-hmm. And how has it been giving back to this noble institution?
It has been amazing. Mm-hmm. We have given back in terms of cash, in terms of kind. We have given our service in terms of, I think one of the most impactful ones is the way we're able to mentor them. So we have this class this is going to be their graduating year, and we have been working with them, recognizing excellence. And one thing I can tell you about Jamaican students, though, is that they like a good competition, right? And it's the competition not always on the track, as you know, when there's a nation of track stars. But in the class that we have adopted, the group that we have adopted, we have seen students who want to be number one because we give them awards, we give them cash awards. And in these times, a lot of students, that cash incentive as well is so meaningful. So we have peer programs, mentorship programs, Big Brother, Big Sister. We have also in the COVID period when we send different programs via online to them so that they could help. We contribute to the track program. And in this season, one of the things that we have done in the 6C, which they found very useful, is that we have used the persons who are most skilled in certain and has greater competency in certain subject areas. We know one of the areas that most students have issues with, probably like the math and the English. So we had these camps and we sponsored the class of 89. We sponsored the camp, and I actually myself went down to the school, and it was such a rewarding feeling because there were some students who could afford to go, but then there were some students who were not able to go, and it was outside of the school time. So we also had to give the teachers something, and it wasn't a pay. It was just something, a little stipend to say thank you for doing it, and we also gave them lunch. So we have been going, Dervan, and we're excited now that they're graduating, and we're looking forward to exciting results. Again, what we're doing is that we are not just talking, but we're doing something. We're investing in the life of our young ones.
Mm-hmm. And it seems from all indications that you're as past students of St. Catherine High School class of 89, that you're really and truly committed. You didn't just do a little one thing and then that was it. You are committed to the task, and we have to congratulate you.
And I want to say, Dervan, we are so committed that love has no boundaries, because a lot of our past students, some are in the diaspora, some are in Jamaica, and when we have persons, regardless of when one is experiencing day, another person is experiencing night, one is going to work, one is coming off, all the 89ers as best as possible, we do have a very good turnout when we have our meetings and our events. So I really want to say thanks to all the 89ers wherever they are. Your efforts are truly appreciated, and we know we're going to see the reward.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we salute you and encourage other alumni to get involved and be a part of their respective institutions. But I couldn't let you go without asking you to share with us a word or two with respect to your experience at St. Catherine High School and what that was like, and the key individuals who might have played a part in influencing your performance.
Well, thank you so very much for that question, Dervan. Well, first of all, when I got to St. Catherine High School, I was, like most persons, it was a new experience. It was, wow, what is this going to be like? But my guiding principle at the school, first of all, was our motto. Our motto is prayer and work conquers all. And even at that time, even though I wasn't a Christian, I was exposed to the tenets of Christianity. And not in a way where people were preaching to you about the structure of the school. My influence as a leader today, because I'm a leader in my organization, I work at the university, Miss Joan Tyson Mills. Wow. That lady taught us how to be ladies, how to be leaders. The different clubs that we had, the key clubs, they taught us rather how to become, stand up and be counted. And a lot of the persons who are in these different service clubs are now prominent leaders. I speak about one of our very influential 89ers, Dr. Karen Powell, and there are so many of them across the diaspora and in Jamaica. And I know that it was the impact of the different things that we did at school that we were exposed to. I remember Miss Joan Tyson was saying to me one day that she's not grooming just persons to graduate, but that persons on leaving the distinguished institution can become part of society and contribute meaningfully, whether it was through our talent, whatever it was. And so she has been one of my greatest inspiration at school. I talk about her all the time. And our principals have also Miss Fuller. We have Mrs. Anderson at the time, and we have had a cadre of just excellent leaders. And now, the school is in a great space, being led by Mr. Campbell, and we want to say shout out to him as well, because he's really helped the school. I don't know if you follow sports, Dervan, but there was a time when my high school was known as the Cinderella of football.
Oh, really?
Yes, because we just couldn't get it right at one time in our history. But you know what? Just as how the 89ers are consistent, we have a group of other alumni as well who believe in the school, Mr. Mundell, Paul Brown, and a few others. And they have also sold into the school, invested their time and effort. And even our own Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Andrew Onis. And today, we know that St. Catherine High School has been a very dominant football school now, and have won major titles. So it just goes to show you that this is a school that believes in its students and will always try to go above and beyond. We have been doing very excellently as well in the champs. We have come up, from a school that didn't have any points. I remember once when I was one of the few persons in the city would say, go St. Catherine High School. And now we know that there are certain races that they will say, look out for this girl from St. Catherine High School. So it just goes to show you that prayer and work just conquers all.
Indeed. Well, we want to congratulate you on all your achievements and the work that you continue to do for your alma mater, St. Catherine High School.
Thank you so very much, Dervan. I want to say thanks to our 89ers president. We call him Mr. Fliego. To all those in the diaspora and all over, thank you. And we're looking forward to our main event that's coming up.
Yes.
In July. It's coming up, and we're looking forward. It's our banquet, our 89ers 35th banquet, and all the proceeds again go back to the school. That's when we have these things, we don't. It's not self-serving. Mm-hmm. It's really about whatever contribution that we do have, that we give back to the school for the infrastructure. We want to leave a legacy project, and so we do this to make sure that another generation will benefit from our time and our investment and our resources. So on the 13th of July, we look forward to a banquet over there at the Altamont Court. We're going to be having it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we trust all goes well for that event. So it's the 13th of July.
Correct.
6:30 in the evening at the Altamont Court Hotel in New Kingston. So we want to encourage, although it's the class of 89, I'm sure you don't mind the whole school turning out in a manner of speaking.
Yes, it's really open to everyone. Anyone who likes to serve and to invest in the future, it's open to everyone just to come and let us have a good time.
And so say all of us. Let's have a good time.
So say all of us indeed.
All right. Nice to talk with you. Thank you so much, Dr. Tomlinson, for your work and all the very best.
Thank you very much, Dervan.
Good. Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, the Jamaican Diaspora, live online on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We see Joan Edgehill joining us. She says, "Good morning, Mr. Dervan. I'm on my way to the Jamaican American Association of Central Florida's annual health fair at the Multicultural Center, Pine Hills, Florida, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Well, that's a good thing, Joan Edgehill. And we encourage those in and around Pine Hills, Florida, to support the event, the Jamaican American Association of Central Florida annual health fair taking place at the Multicultural Center in Pine Hills, Florida. Thank you very much for sharing that bit of information with us, Joan Edgehill, and all the very best. As we talk our way to the next break and come back in just a moment. So we, once again, thanks to those who have joined us on this Saturday morning. It's the first edition of the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online for the month of June. And June, as we've been sharing since the start of today's show, is going to be a busy month because of it's Windrush month. And of course, Windrush Day falls in Windrush month. And there are going to be other activities. So we look forward to that as we get ready for our next segment coming up here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And when we come back, it will be time for us to get an update from Peter Gracie, the Global Jamaica Diaspora representative for the Southern United States.
Keep meat frozen until your collection day to minimize odor and decomposition. This waste management tip is brought to you by the NSWMA, One Jamaica. Back we clean up the place.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
15 minutes past 7 o'clock in the morning here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it is 2:15 p.m. in Cape Town, South Africa.
The Westmoreland Agricultural Show 2024 is all set to shine the spotlight on the next generation of agricultural leaders on Sunday, June 2 at the Bay Road Sports Complex in Little London, Westmoreland. This year's event emphasizes youth engagement under the theme New Face of Food, driving food security and expanding exports. Join Power 106 FM for live broadcast from the Westmoreland Agricultural Show from 1 to 3 p.m. Entertainment all day, prizes, surprises, and much more. This broadcast is brought to you by the Westmoreland Association of Grant Societies of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, Easy Spice Seasonings and Spices, and James Lumberyard. That's a live broadcast from the Westmoreland Agricultural Show this Sunday, June 2 at the Bay Road Sports Complex in Little London, Westmoreland from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Power 106 FM, the digital sound, and now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you could download on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can tune in on your mobile phones by dialing 631-359-8281 if you're in the U.S. And if you're in the UK, you can dial 0330-606-0953. Plus, listen to us on OneSpotMedia.com and the OneSpot Media app, or log on to go-jamaica.com. Power 106 FM, where all views can contend, giving you powerful talk radio in so many ways, on air and online.
Wherever you go,
In tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks.
wherever you go,
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, the Jamaican Diaspora, live online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and our next guest is very well decorated in terms of the work that he has been doing in Jamaica and across the diaspora, and expertly assigning duties right across the board. He is a project manager, he's a real estate broker, he's a poet, he is also the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council representative for the Southern United States, and he is Mr. Peter Gracie. Good morning to you, sir. How are you? Where in the world do we find you now?
I'm like Carmen San Diego. Oh, we're in Waldo, right? But yeah, I'm actually in Florida right now, man. Good morning, Dervan. How you doing?
Morning. I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Life is good, man. Life is perfect, man. Can't complain.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
All right. So, what have you been up to? I mean, we have seen pictures, and we have heard of movements here and movements there.
Yeah, well, I'm not the picture guy, where you have to see pictures, because what I've realized in today's society, we have gotten driven away from a lot of things that's really important, and a lot of people's perception then tend to become their reality.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at, a lot of people want to see pictures on social media to see what you're doing, but when you look at the picture, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing anything.
True.
You can just stand there taking a picture,
Absolutely.
So, but I've been in the if anyone knows how I operate, I'm more grassroots person. I'm always out there down in the roots doing the thing, not looking for any accolades or anything, just doing what we're supposed to do. So we just came off that high 5K, and the Consul General Sullivan Mayor, he brought the high 5K walk-on initiative, and I activated a team in Central Florida. And last year we started off with one location, and we had 25 people because it wasn't been done in Central Florida. So this year we have 4 locations and over 120 something people. So we're growing in the Central Florida area. Hopefully next year we can start competing with the Miramar High 5K, which they normally have like over 1,000 people. Hopefully we can get probably about 500 up in Central Florida. And it's all for a good cause, adopting clinics in Jamaica.
Yes.
So,
about how many clinics have been adopted in your area?
Well, it's the clinics are in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
So we know for sure that the southern group has adopted, which I know for sure, about 5 to 6 clinics somewhere around there.
Oh wow.
Yes, so the money is when people, and it's a good plug for now for next year, because it's announced that May 10th next year will be the next I-5K.
Mm-hmm.
So if for the audience listening, the monies go directly towards adopting the clinic. There's no money that are held back to any anywhere else other than the fees for the platforms and things like that. So it's a really a good cause, and I'm honored to be a part of that initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So we just got off that. We have a few things coming up here. Where we have the Claremont Jerk Festival today. So I'll be down there representing. We're planning now the motorcade for August in South Florida. That's an initiative that the previous Global Jamaican Diaspora Council representative, Dr. Alan Cunningham, had brought together, and I've been there from the inception of that, so I'm always supporting that. We're also planning an Ocala Jerk Festival on August 3rd, and I should say the motorcade in South Florida is August 4th, and in Ocala the Jerk Festival is August 3rd. So it'll be a busy August, as we know, independence and emancipation and all of that stuff. But in the grassroots of things, I've been dealing here out in Lakeland, Florida. We have a Jamaican young man who, met in an accident, and he is he's not in a coma, but he has a brain injury and very unresponsive. And so I've been, helping out the family, myself, Pastor Rosemary Rock, and a few other people. They were referred to me by previous representative of the Northeast, Dr. Karen Dunkley. And so I've been spending some time working on that, trying to get resources for this young man and all that stuff. But we're chugging along. We're doing good, So there's quite a few things in the communities that's going on. And as you know, we have the This Is Jamaica initiative coming up here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And I did enjoy our time in studio the other day with one Adriana Clark.
Oh my goodness, man! I'm telling you, bro. She would light up any room you could.
Boundless energy.
Yes, man. I just love her, man. The funny thing about it is we have, I think we have the same birthday, I think. Now, she was born a day before or something like that, yeah.
Okay.
And as you know, the previous president, I didn't choose this, who was Carell. We had the same birthday, too.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know where that goes.
Divine providence.
Divine providence. They say coincidence is God's way for meaning anonymous.
Yes.
So, so yeah, but there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work going on now. Obviously, we have the Diaspora Conference coming up here on June 16th to 19th in Montego Bay Convention Center. So that's something we've been pushing, advertising a lot. And unfortunately, Dervan, June is the time when I normally do my vacation, my family vacation, go on trips and all of that.
Okay.
Last year I was in South Africa, if you remember,
yes,
and those places. Yeah. So this year I'm going back to Africa, but with a twist. I'm going to South Korea. So I'm trying to see what I can do as far as schedule to be there, but I schedule these things a year out, and it just so happens that dates come on, so we just have to work things out. But the Diaspora Conference, June 16th to 19th, and I hope everyone in the South here can do their best to try to make it. It's going to be a good event, good for networking, good for people who want to come and invest in Jamaica and understand how business are run in Jamaica and what opportunities are there for real estate and investments, just overall coming back to Jamaica, So that's what's going on here right now, Mr. Malcolm.
Well, that's a lot of work as usual, but when you're having fun, it doesn't feel like work, I'm sure.
So if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, right?
There you go. There you go.
I used to say, I don't want to sound too bad, but I used to grow up with the mantra that in my head that working is for losers, so I don't find myself working, But because you have to do what you love, man, and it's very fulfilling, especially when it involves like children and it involves like initiatives that help to grow the next person.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of my focuses I always mention to my kids, you have to pay 100% on focus on yourself. But in order to make it be about you, you have to make it be about everyone else first.
That's right.
So I try my best here to do as much as possible to work in the diaspora and to keep things moving and support as many people, organizations, and things as possible. It comes fast.
Yes.
And there is a lot. And when you tell people that you get 100 phone calls a minute, asking for this, helping for that, this, that, all that stuff, I don't think they cannot really understand that it's really a lot,
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you represent in the South or in the Northeast, like in the mansion.
Yes. It's quite something, but you wear it well, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, the law of attraction, you find your flock, birds of a feather flock together, and I'm glad I'm in the company of such flock that you belong to, so we all wear it well.
You're too kind.
Yes, we all wear it well.
Mm-hmm.
I must commend you though, Dervan, because I'm telling you, man, you're such a trooper, man, I talk about you all the time. And the funny thing about it is we haven't really met.
No, you're right about that. I never thought about it before now, though.
Yeah, so, but the work continues, and I'm glad you're a big supporter of This Is Jamaica, and hopefully, you can help us to get it more out there to support these kids and, make it really what, where we can help as many schools and parents, not only the kids, man, parents, teachers, the support staff, and stuff like that. We can definitely come in and help and try to, just straighten out some of that negative stuff that we hear in Jamaica by helping these kids to mold them into something that the country on a whole can appreciate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well said. Well, we want to thank you very much, Peter Gracie, for your work, your service to Jamaica and Jamaicans all over the world, I dare say.
Yeah, can I say
sure
one point before I go?
Sure.
After throwing the poem.
All right, just hold it right there for a moment. We're right up on a break, right after the break. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
7:30 in the morning here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 5:30 a.m. in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
The Westmoreland Agricultural Show 2024 is all set to shine the spotlight on the next generation of agricultural leaders on Sunday, June 2 at the Bay Road Sports Complex in Little London, Westmoreland. This year's event emphasizes youth engagement under the theme, New Face of Food, driving food security and expanding exports. Join Power 106 FM for live broadcast from the Westmoreland Agricultural Show from 1 to 3 p.m. Entertainment all day, prizes, surprises, and much more. This broadcast is brought to you by the Westmoreland Association of Brand Societies of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, Easy Spice Seasonings and Spices, and James Lumberyard. That's a live broadcast from the Westmoreland Agricultural Show this Sunday, June 2 at the Bay Road Sports Complex in Little London, Westmoreland from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Wherever you go, in tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we're going to give Peter Gracie an opportunity to recite a poem. Mr. Gracie.
As you know, the poems I write, some of them tend to go viral at times. And I want to pick up every poet and musicians and players of instruments in Jamaica because we're truly important to our culture. But before I say this poem, let me just ask you. I didn't ask you, Dervan, and I apologize. How's your day going today, man?
Going great.
Great. Not perfect.
I see no reason why it wouldn't be perfect. If it's great.
Well, this poem is called The Perfect Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought to myself, today is the perfect day to die. It's the perfect day to give birth. It's the perfect day to cry. It's the perfect day to win. It's the perfect day to lose. But if God has made a perfect day, tell me, who am I to choose? It's the perfect day to blaspheme. It's the perfect day to lie. I am the perfect of the imperfect. And to fix my imperfections, today is the perfect day to try. The perfect day to right my wrongs and the failures to retry. The perfect day to lose my wings, today is the perfect day to fly. It's the perfect day to end, it's the perfect day to begin. It's the perfect day to love, the perfect day to sin. The perfect day to take the blame and the perfect day to accuse. Because if God has made only perfect days, tell me, Dervan, who am I to choose?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the perfect day. So I just wanted to say that to you, that a lot of times we find ourselves saying it's a bad day, and we have to be careful how we say these things and write them into our subconscious, because the day is not bad. Most of the time it's just our expectations weren't met. Mm-hmm. And so we think it's a bad day, but the day is going fine, So I just want us to appreciate life a little bit more. And when we get up each morning, we just give thanks and know it's a perfect day regardless of what's going on out there.
Yes. So true.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you very much.
Not a problem, man. I appreciate the plug, sir.
Anytime.
All right, thank you very much, man. Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Take care.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye. This is the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we thank you very much for tuning in and being a part of the experience. We look forward to your full participation throughout, as usual, and we thank you very much for your messages and your comments that you share with us from time to time here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. We also want to put in a word for the Caring for Miracles Foundation and their upcoming fundraiser supported by the Jamaica Youth Chorale with Sidron Walters and the Jamaica Youth Chorale will be playing their part and also introducing the Kingston 17 presenting Seasons, and their fundraiser will go towards a cohort of babies referred to as preemies, and the funds will go towards the Caring for Miracles Foundation. and we encourage support for that organization as well. Fundraiser coming up, and we trust that they will be able to meet their target and achieve their objectives. In the meantime, we continue with more on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. And looking forward to continuing to play our part in this regard. We want to say hello to Dr. Sylvanus Thompson and celebrate the work that he has been doing as well in his capacity as retired associate director with the Toronto Public Health. So shout outs to you, Dr. Sylvanus Thompson. And I think we have gone through all the highs and hellos for the time being, and we'll continue in just a moment. And just to let you know that we are looking forward to doing an interview with Justice Norma Wade Miller. She is Jamaican. She operates out of Bermuda, and we are looking forward to that engagement. She is going to be starting in Bermuda a spelling competition, and we will see how that goes. In the meantime, we continue with your program, the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Hello to Valerie Weller Peck. We see you. Good morning to everyone. You guys, she says, have a wonderful, blessed weekend. Thank you very much for your message. And Karen Rowe, wonderful, she says, a wonderful, wonderful good morning, Sir Malcolm, and all tuning in. It is indeed a perfect day. Thank you, Peter. Have a wonderful weekend, says Karen Rowe. Thank you very much. And the text line 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number. And the regular call-in lines, 876-922-4112-5. And if you care to share and join us on the subject of how well, we don't want to make it too specific, but just to get a sense of what are your expectations, if any, going into the 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference. Are there particular issues that you would like to see addressed, that you would like to hear being the topic of discussion at the 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference? If you have such thoughts and ideas and issues, feel free to share. 876-922-4112-5. So what are your expectations going into the 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference? If you wish to comment, 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Maybe you have just a general comment about the Jamaican diaspora and you would like to share how you feel about the Jamaican diaspora, we would welcome your messages and comments as well. How about that? So we look forward to your participation. 876-365-3346 is the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. 876-365-3346, and the regular call-in lines 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. So we're putting it out there, the Jamaican diaspora. What does the Jamaican diaspora mean to you, if anything? How do you feel about the Jamaican diaspora and the impact of the Jamaican diaspora on the Jamaican economy and related subjects? So please feel free to express yourself, share your thoughts, share your comments and your messages, and we'll be happy to give you a listening ear here on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Power 106 FM. And guess who we met up with at St. Best Agri-Fest yesterday? None other but Driver, our faithful listener who goes by the name Driver. We met him for the first time yesterday in the flesh, and we didn't know exactly what he looked like, but for some strange reason, the moment I saw him, I thought he was the one, that he is Driver. So we had a long talk at the SDC complex in St. Elizabeth yesterday, and he is he's just as passionate on air as he is off air, so to speak. So we want to salute Driver in America, and it was a pleasure to have met you at the SDC complex in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth, yesterday at the St. Bess Agri Fest. So that went very well. And we should say good morning to Ambassador Curtis Ward. Good to see you online. Good morning to you too. How are you? And I'm sure you are finding the various discussions and conversations on matters to deal with the Constitutional Review Committee. So, yes, would love to hear your perspective on some of these matters, Ambassador. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
7:45 in the morning here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it is 9:45 p.m. in Tokyo, Japan.
The Westmoreland Agricultural Show 2024 is all set to shine the spotlight on the next generation of agricultural leaders on Sunday, June 2 at the Bay Road Sports Complex in Little London, Westmoreland. This year's event emphasizes youth engagement under the theme New Face of Food, driving food security and expanding exports. Join Power 106 FM for live broadcast from the Westmoreland Agricultural Show from 1 to 3 p.m. Entertainment all day, prizes, surprises, and much more. This broadcast is brought to you by the Westmoreland Association of Branch Societies of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, Easy Spice Seasonings and Spices, and James Lumberyard. That's a live broadcast from the Westmoreland Agricultural Show this Sunday, June 2, at the Bay Road Sports Complex in Little London, Westmoreland, from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Wherever you go, in tribute to Jamaicans in the diaspora, wherever you go, you shine. You make us proud. Despite our challenges at home, you never give up on us. Our sincere thanks. Wherever you go, shine. You need to know, shine. Anything you want to be. You give me hope. Shine. Oh, shine. Shine.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on the Jamaican Diaspora live online on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Ambassador Curtis Ward says, I am following the issue quite close, and I have written in the discrimination against non-Commonwealth diaspora dual citizens. So that's what Ambassador Ward is saying right now in terms of his response. He says he's following the issue quite close and has written in the discrimination against non-Commonwealth diaspora citizens. So that's worthwhile response, feedback, and we want to continue to check out the various perspectives. That should be on. I'm following the issue quite close, and I have written on the discrimination against non-Commonwealth diaspora dual citizens. So that's Ambassador Ward's perspective. Thank you for sharing. Feel free, if you're listening and you would like to join in the discussion, 876 922 4112-5, 876 922 4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346, 876 365 3346. And we continue, but whatever happens, all right, let's share a perspective. And this is written by Ambassador Curtis Ward of the Ward Post. No bastard citizens of Jamaica at home and abroad. That is the caption. And Ambassador Curtis Ward says, we are joined by the spirit of the land we call the Rock. We are bound by the country of our heritage, where ours or our ancestors' umbilical cords or navel strings are buried. We are bound by being Jamaicans by birth or descent. Being Jamaicans by birth or by descent make us no less Jamaican. And whether living in Jamaica or abroad, we are all Jamaicans. Most importantly, we are bound by the love we share for Jamaica. During our 2023 Diaspora panel discussion on the constitutional reform process taking place in our country, one of our diaspora panelists from Canada said, "We love Jamaica, and all we ask is that Jamaica loves us back." Her words were as much of a plea for reciprocity as they were a recognition that far too often we are led to question whether Jamaica as a nation truly loves or cares about its diaspora. I'm old enough to recall the time when children born out of wedlock were not included in the core family structure. They suffered discrimination and were deprived of certain rights under law and in practice. But since the 1970s, a period of great social transformation, Jamaicans decided that no bastard, no day again. We in the diaspora are not bastards or stepchildren of Jamaica. We are full members of the Jamaican family, and we demand that we are treated accordingly. Debate over the question of dual citizenship, writes Ambassador Curtis Ward. Debate over the question of dual citizenship of Jamaicans who hold dual citizenship. Let's go again. Debate over the question of dual citizenship of Jamaicans who hold dual citizenship status in non-Commonwealth countries is welcome, but some of the views expressed are quite disturbing. To suggest that one set of Jamaicans abroad have superior rights over another, as enshrined in our Constitution, is at the least absurd. Those who wish to perpetuate the vestiges of colonialism, not surprisingly, embrace a provision in the Jamaica Constitution Order in Council, which no doubt was embedded by the colonial masters to ensure control over our country in its colonial image in perpetuity. Importantly, what we refer to as the Jamaica Constitution is cited in the UK statute as the Jamaica Constitution Order in Council 1962. There is irony in the way the current Jamaican government treats with the diaspora. One of the founding fathers and first Prime Minister of Jamaica, Sir Alexander Bustamante, was at one time a member of the diaspora, not of the Commonwealth. Our fifth Prime Minister, Edward Seaga, was born in Boston, thus acquiring US citizenship and nationality at birth. Yet members of the current JLP government are dismissing the idea of removal of this grossly discriminatory practice of dual nationality. But that is not all. Members of the diaspora trained, working, and living in the United States as dual citizens have the most to contribute to Jamaica's development. Given the opportunity, US-based diaspora who are exposed to the best training, science and technology, and possess the greatest wealth are being denied the opportunity to have an impact on Jamaica's future development and governance. It's idiotic. The proposition to remove this artificial impediment to some Jamaicans abroad in the process of constitutional reform, modernizing the constitution of a truly independent nation, and severing all vestiges of colonialism, which still relegate our people to an inferior position to the British should have the full support of both government and opposition. The minister responsible for guiding this process should not seek to complicate this process by introducing a litmus test for patriotism and fealty to the nation, which many at home would fail. But even that confounding rationale doesn't seem to satisfy at least one member of parliament, a junior minister, member of the government, who is not smart enough to offer a sensible alternative without resorting to a racist diatribe against the leader of opposition because he had the temerity to insist on the end to this discriminatory practice. She embellished her own legitimacy in her claimed ancestors' enslaved and oppressed experiences, citing her roots in St. Thomas, where national heroes George William Gordon, the son of a Scotsman and an enslaved mother, a bastard who had to purchase his own freedom, and Paul Bogle, the son of enslaved Africans, were executed for daring to reject British oppression. The colonial masters, which many Jamaicans still shamelessly revere, it may be excusable when, due to no fault of theirs, they do not know better. But this member of parliament, who ought to know better, is not alone in playing the race card against the leader of the opposition. The senior minister of finance had set this ignominious precedence in our political dialogue. What is most disconcerting is that Jamaicans are not outraged by these racist tropes. Perhaps, had there been outrage, particularly from the party leader, who is also the prime minister, these members of parliament and his government would not have dared to cross this line. It begs the question, is this another junior minister gone rogue, or is this policy condoned by the government? There are many in our society who share similar ethnicity with the leader of the opposition and who hold the reins of economic power in Jamaica. They provide critical funding support to both political parties, without which they would be broke and inoperable. In the same way, I want to hear from the government condemning this elected official. I want to hear from the private sector. I want to hear their unqualified rebuke of racism in Jamaica. I want them to issue a warning of withholding funding to the political party which does not act against those who promote racism and demand retraction of such statements when uttered against fellow Jamaicans. They have a responsibility to promote civility in politics and in society. Why their silence? This process of constitutional reform must treat all Jamaican citizens equally. Where disparities exist, they must be removed. Equal rights must be accorded to all Jamaicans. Anything less is unacceptable. The words there of Ambassador Curtis Ward, ending this next segment of the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online. Thank you very much, Ambassador Ward.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
8:01 in the morning here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica, which means it's 1:01 in the afternoon in Bamako, Mali.
Jamaica invites its global family to a momentous homecoming June 16 to 19 for the 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference in beautiful Montego Bay. Join us for a cultural immersion, network, and do business as you explore innovative solutions for nation building. Plan to attend. Your insight, voice, and presence matter. Register at Diaspora Conference ja.eventbrite.com. The 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference, united for Jamaica's transformation, fostering peace, productivity, and youth empowerment. Convened by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Wherever you go, in tribute to Jamaicans in the